Hello everybody, welcome to the Cozy Cardigans podcast. My name is Mel. I'm the owner of Big Little Yarn Co. and I live here in Kyoto, Japan with my husband Tim and my son Everest. And yeah, welcome. It's been a little bit. Sorry I missed the usual end of the month wrap-up video. I was really busy with work and just like a lot of stuff was happening, so I just didn't really get a chance. But I'm back for a mid-month kind of check-in, filming somewhere a little different. I'm in the living room because Tim's using the office, which also has like all my yarn stuff. But yeah, so let's just get started. I have a good amount to talk about. I have some FOs. Woo! So let me get started with that. So first off, I got a new sewing machine. It's really quite big and heavy, so I can't really share it with you, but it is a Juki little home sewing machine. I finally got one. My sewing machine that I used to use, that was like 4,000 yen, like $30, just like a cheap one I got off of the internet, kind of like finally just broke. So I had to get rid of that, and I didn't have a sewing machine for a while, and now I have like a really good one. So I made this top. So this top was actually in progress, like just kind of hibernating for a while since before Evie was born. Honestly, I just like never had the time to finish it, and I finally got a chance to finish it, and I kind of screwed up on it because I didn't remember what was going on. But anyways, like it's wearable. So this is the Allwell box top. I did the sleeveless option, which still kind of looks like you have sleeves, but it is the sleeveless option. And let me get up really quick. And it's got like a split hem here. And it's a little cropped. Let me tuck it in my shirt. So it is a little cropped, but and it's very wrinkly because it is 100% linen. Linen gets very wrinkly, and it was in my closet. I just put it on for today. I mean, I don't really mind because like I feel like that's just kind of the state of linen. It's always just gonna be kind of a little rumpled unless you iron it all the time, which is not very realistic. But yeah, so I'm happy with this. Just like a simple top. I was able to kind of just figure out all the little bells and whistles that the sewing machine came in. It's like a computerized one. It's a Juki. I'll put the proper model here, but it's like a Juki, I want to say like D100, D1000, something like that. It's only available in Japan, I believe. When I was kind of doing research, I wasn't able to find any English articles or reviews about it. It was all in Japanese, so I believe it's like a Japanese, like made for Japan kind of sewing machine. I'm not sure though, but yeah, so I'm happy with it. I was able to figure stuff out, so I'm excited. I'll talk more about sewing plans towards the end because now I can sew and it's like won't be a struggle. The thing about sewing for me was that I thought I wasn't good at sewing because I've just always had crappy sewing machines. Like back in America, I had like a regular kind of beginner intro sewing machine, just something simple from Joann's. I don't even remember. I think it was a Husqvarna maybe, but so yeah, it was just like this simple sewing machine that was a mechanical sewing machine, and it just wasn't strong. Like whenever, like even just this isn't even a heavyweight linen. I'd say this is like a mid-weight linen, and even just doing these hems, like a rolled hem, would be a struggle. Like it'd be hard, and I thought that I was just like, I don't know, not sewing straight or something, like, you know, and it was just a lot harder than it needed to be. And when I was sewing with this one, this is like my first big, like, it wasn't super expensive as far as sewing machines go, but it was a bit of a purchase, you know. So, and after doing a lot of research and stuff like that, I really wanted a sewing machine where I could sew denim if I wanted to, like just having it be able to do harder work without struggle was like a really big thing for me when I was looking for a sewing machine. And so sewing with this machine, I literally just had to do the sleeves. Like everything else was done. I literally needed to just do the sleeves, the hemming of the sleeves. And yeah, it was so much better than I thought it would be. Yeah, it was my sewing machine, not me. So if you are a struggling sewist and you're like, why can't I sew? Why am I struggling so hard? It might be your sewing machine, honestly. Like it's interesting because for knitting, I find that even if, you buy cheap yarn or, you buy yarn that's not indie dyed or it's a big box store brand, like it's totally fine to knit with and you can make something beautiful out of it. And it's mostly just, the skill and the experience of the knitter that really kind of makes a knitted garment beautiful in a way. The thing about sewing is that, yeah, you can, like, the most skilled sewist can probably sew something beautiful out of a crappy sewing machine, but a crappy sewing machine is a crappy sewing machine and you can only go so far with it, So I'm not saying to buy a really expensive sewing machine, but that might be one of the key factors of your sewing woes, because it was definitely for me. So yeah, anyways, that is to say, I'm really obsessed. I'm so excited that I have a sewing machine that like works well, It's just so nice. So nice. So I have some stuff to talk about sewing plans towards the end. So we could just talk about knitting first, because that's what we're here for, most of us. So I do have one more FO, and it is Tim's shirt. It's done. So just blocked yesterday. Obviously it's huge on me, but I just want to show you the general shape of it. It's quite large. Let me see if I can show you. So just for everyone who has not been here since the beginning of this, I started this back in June. So it's taken me, I've looked at my knitting journal, and it's taken me almost exactly 3 months to finish. And that is because it is all like bespoke. So the shaping, the size, everything is just my own pattern. But yeah, it fits perfectly. Tim is, I would like to say, obsessed with it. He immediately wore it after it was blocked, and he's so happy with it, so that's nice. But let me just talk about construction. So construction wise, well, first, the yarn is Amirisu Parade. And I don't know if you could kind of see the heathering on it. Oh yeah, you could kind of see it. There's this lovely heathering on it. I don't really recall the exact fiber content, so I'll just put that on the screen here. But yeah, it's really nice. Tim has very sensitive skin, so he does not do well with like non-superwash. Usually I try to use baby yarn for him because he does get so itchy for a lot of things, but this is actually, he said, pretty good. So for those of you who have sensitive skin, I do highly recommend it. I know it's got linen, I think it's got merino, linen, and silk, I want to say, but it is super soft and it blocks out really nicely. Yeah, so construction wise, it is knit bottom up. So I started at the bottom here. It's got 1x1 ribbing. It's also got, I don't know if you could tell, but it's got some body shaping. So sorry, it's so hard to show, but the bottom part here is narrower than the chest area because he wanted some shaping in the body. And then the armholes is we've got the armhole here. It's what do you call that? Satin sleeve. So there are some decreases here, and then it knits up, and then I do the same for the back, and then I did a Kitchener stitch shoulder, so it's pretty invisible. And then the sleeve itself has short row shaping for the sleeve cap. And then it actually has both decreases on the bottom and the top, just because I think if it's for a lot of men or for people who have bigger, what muscle is this? Tricep? This muscle here, when it's like bigger, because mine is just like flat, so there's absolutely really nothing to kind of, you don't really need shaping. And also, like, I feel like for women's clothing it tends to be a little more okay to have a bit more flow or a bit more space up in the top here. But this sleeve took forever. I think I knit this sleeve, like the first sleeve, maybe like 3 times to figure out like the right shaping for it, because the first time I knit it, I only did sleeve decreases on the bottom, and that kind of, it fit him. But the thing was that the muscle here, the way it draped, made it kind of look like a little princessy, like a little ruffled, just because it doesn't really the fabric doesn't really go straight down, if you know what I mean. So the second time I was trying to figure out this short rows, and it got I kind of miscalculated the short rows right here, and it just kind of bunched up a little funny. And then the third time was the charm. I actually ended up fixing the short rows, did the decreases here, but I also did decreases up on top as well to kind of just give a bit more fit. So when there is some muscle here, I don't know if you could see just from my hand, like how it kind of boop, like goes down. Without the decreases, it was kind of ruffling, like, yeah, it's really hard to describe, but it was kind of ruffling like this, and it just kind of looked a little funny. It would have been kind of not a big deal if it was more of like I would say like a feminine sleeve fit, I feel like, but he wanted more of like not a muscle tee, but like a more form-fitting fit. So that's what I ended up doing, and it worked out. And then the collar is a folded over collar, and then I put a little bit of yarn here so that he knows which side is the front and the back. For the collar, I ended up just copying how I just took his favorite t-shirt and just did decreases to match, and it worked out really well. Yeah, the hardest part was definitely the sleeves. The sleeves are weird because I'm not really like a pattern designer. I don't really know about fit and different body shape forms and how it's supposed to all work. So that was a struggle, but it ended up working out. So yeah, so this is done. Tim's very excited. It's supposed to be getting cooler maybe next week-ish. So hopefully he can wear this without sweating and be able to, he's excited to wear this with like jackets and things like that. So that is fun. And then finally, I have one half-finished object that half-finished object, but I didn't really finish it yet because I still have to Kitchener stitch the toe, which I have yet to do. I'm kind of, oops, it's a little tangled. Let me, hold on just a sec. So this is my train knitting. So for those of you who have been here for a while, you know I've been knitting the socks for forever, but this is pretty much done. I'll probably just Kitchener stitch the toe later today, but this is the Poet Socks by Sari Nordlund, and the yarn is Baker's Assistant by me from the Big Little Yarn Co. shop. These will be going on pre-order next year, and I'll talk more about it when the time comes, but I love how these look so much. I was really worried about how the variegation of the yarn would affect how you can see the lace work, but it's actually pretty nice. And it looks a bit bunched up and like weird and wonky, but if you stick your foot in it, you can really see the lace work. I don't know if maybe I'll stick my hand in. You could really see the lace work pop when you stick your foot in, so that's good. Yeah, I won't go too far into it, but I did try it on. I was really worried about it because it is a 60 stitch count sock. I think I talked about this before. It's a 60 stitch count sock. There is only one size, mainly because of the stitch pattern. So I'm a 66 or even 68 stitch count sock kind of girly, with size 1, US 1 needles. And so 60 is a bit too small for me. So I was really worried about it, but I ended up knitting it with a size US 2 and it worked out pretty well. The only thing about using the size US 2 is that when I tried it on the bottom of the sock, so like where the bottom of the foot is, the stockinette stitch here, just feels a little loose. Like, I guess because I'm used to my size US 1 socks, it does feel a bit loose and not really like not that it's not wearable, but I feel like it might get some holes. I don't know, but we'll see. But I just really love it. It's so pretty. So I'm hoping to have this done by the time autumn rolls around, so I could wear I have these like brown leather mules, and I took it to my cobbler. Our family, we have like a family cobbler. There's this couple that is nearby who cobbles shoes, and so I took it to my cobbler because I'm getting like a strap put in the back heel bit, so that, you know, like for clogs and things like that, sometimes there's no strap in the back, so mine didn't come with the strap, so he's putting that in for me. But yeah, support your local cobblers. But yeah, I'm really excited to wear these with those, especially because you can really see the sock from the back. It's gonna be so cute. So yeah, I have a half FO. So working on the second one, or I will work on the second one once I Kitchener stitch the toes. So that leads me to whips. Whips wise, now that I finished Tim's shirt, I can finally work on something for myself. So for those of you who have been here, you may remember this yarn. This is another Amirisu yarn. This is Amirisu, what was it? I think I wrote it down. Wanderlust linen. This is the color Gray Wall. It is this bright red, super cute. I was thinking it was going to be a summer thing because it is 100% linen, but I think it would be a really cute layering piece for fall because of this bright red. So I originally casted this on as a rib lace raglan by James and Watts, and I was enjoying it, but as I was knitting it up, it was just like, the combo is weird. I loved the pattern itself. I loved the yarn itself. But put together, it was just like not sitting right with me. Like I was just like, kind of iffy about it. And I was like, well, if I'm going to be iffy about it, I might as well not. Because, you know, I was just at the neck increases because it's top down raglan. So I was doing the neck, I cast it on the neck, I was doing the raglan increases, and I was already like, I don't know, like kind of iffy about it. So I stopped, took a break, set it aside, looked at it again, and I was like, I have this other yarn that would be really good for it. So I'm gonna use that for that pattern in the future. But then I was like, what should I make with this? Because one of the reasons why I was kind of iffy about it was because I really wanted a top or a vest or something that was layerable. I don't know if you watched my previous video. It was like a chatty video about transitional knits. I was just realizing like, yeah, I really love it when I can wear something as both a top in the summer, but also like as a vest or like a layering piece in the fall. So I was just thinking about it, looked up stuff on my Ravelry, looked through my favorites, and I settled on, well, I saw that I favorited a while ago, Emily, she's M Weaker on Instagram. She's Gently Chaotic Knits. Oh, it got really dark. Sorry. Oh, it's getting so dark. Sorry, I had to turn the artificial light on because it just suddenly, the sun just kind of left. So I'll have to leave the light on until the sun comes back. But anyways, I was saying I saw Emily Kurt, Gently Chaotic Knits. She made a Strata top or a Strata vest, Strata tank, by Jacqueline Cieslak, and she made a red one, and she was layering it with a t-shirt, I believe, in the photo, and I was like, yes, that's what I need. That is exactly what I need, because I would love to layer it with like long sleeve dresses, or like even just a regular cut and sew long sleeve shirt, you know. So that's what I decided to cast on. It looks like a line of stitches right now because I literally casted this on yesterday, but it is top down. So this is the back. You start off with the back and it just looks like a line. So I'm casted this on. I did not do a gauge swatch, but I did knit, like technically knit it up a little bit with the size US 4 needles that it calls for, but I could tell immediately that it was way too small. The gauge was pretty off, so I recasted it on with size US 6, which is quite large for this type of, like, it's a pretty thin yarn, and it's linen, so there's no like fluff to kind of cover the holes of the stitches, if you know what I mean. So like, I don't know if you can see, and linen always looks kind of funky when you knit it up, but I don't know if you could see that it's a bit holey, but oh, there you go, like you could really see the stitches because it's a size US 6 with such thin yarn. But I really don't mind. I kind of like that in a way. It's like fake lace almost, and I think it would be really cute to layer this with stuff, and it won't be so hot, and I could probably try to use it a lot more during the summer next year as well. So yeah, this is my new whip. After this, hopefully this doesn't take too long because it's a tank, and after this I will work on something for Everest because I'm trying to like work through each family member at a time. So after Tim, it's me, and then after me, it's Everest. So that is that. And then like kind of a whip, but not really sewing wise, is I am planning on making, for my first like big girl garment sewing with my new machine, I'm planning on making a maker's overshirt with this. I don't remember where I got it, and I don't remember where it's from, but it's like I like to say a midweight cotton linen, I want to say. It's like this clay blue. I hate that I have to turn on the light for this, but it's like this clay blue. I'm sure it's looking a little yellowish here, but so sorry about the light, but the sun is yet to come back. But yeah, so I'm planning on using this clay blue cotton linen for a maker's overshirt, and I'm currently taping up the bajillion pieces of paper for the pattern. Hopefully I get that done today, and I could like start figuring out I do want to like shorten the sleeves a little bit, things like that, so I'll have to figure that out, but I'll let you know next time. So yeah, it's not really a whip yet, but it's coming soon. It's on the docket. Let's see. I do have a few fabric acquisitions, mostly because I got really excited about the sewing machine, so obviously I had to get some new fabric. So I'll show those to you really quick because I think they're really fun. Well, first I just got regular, this is not super fun, it's just simple double gauze for Evie. I just wanted to make like some comfy like shirt pants situation for him. And then this is a fun one. So I went to one of my favorite fabric stores in Kyoto. It is called Nomura Tailor House, I believe. And it's in, if you do go to Kyoto, I highly recommend. They have a lot of fun stuff. But one of the employees there, she was wearing this dress, and I was like, that is such a cute dress. I was like wondering if she made it or not. I think I could tell that she made it mostly because I've never seen that kind of patterned fabric before. So I was looking around the store and I found it, and then I asked her about it, and she's like, oh yeah, we were talking about it. But anyways, so this is the fabric. It looks a little crazy, but hear me out. It looks so cute in a dress or like a flowy situation. It's like a little fake quilt, I guess. And the pattern is called, what is it called? Sweet and Nostalgic Patterns of Japan, which I think is so cute. It's got like these little sumo wrestlers, those Kewpie babies. Yeah, it's just this really sweet, cute pattern, and I'm kind of debating on what I should make with it. I've been looking at patterns. If you have any recommendations, by the way, of like anything for any fabric that I show you, please let me know. But I do really like the flowy dress that the employee had on. That was really cute. But also I was thinking like this would be so fun as kind of like a top and bottom set. And then you could just wear them separately if you wanted to. That would also be fun. But yeah, so this is one of the fabrics that I got. And then another fabric I got at the same store, per her recommendation, because we were talking and we realized we kind of have the same taste in funky fabric, is this one. And she was saying she was making another flowy dress out of this too. And I was like, yes, that's so pretty. I don't know. I just really love these like weird, Japan I find has these really interesting illustrated patterns. They collab with Japanese illustrators a lot. They come up with this weird stuff that like I just don't really see in America. But also I wasn't really looking in America. So maybe there is some in America, I'm not sure. But it's just this really cool funky illustrations. This girl, it's got birds, it's got comets, it's got horses, it's got stars, it's got this really nice border too. So I'll have to think about what I want to make, because it's got this really nice border, it's got this really nice illustration. I'm not really sure what exactly to make with it, but something flowy for sure, and something that really shows off the illustration. And then another fabric that I got, I just washed it so it's a bit wrinkly, is this. It looks kind of, it's a bit more dark orange. The artificial light is kind of making it washed out, but I don't know, it's a bit more orange than, oh, you could kind of tell the orangeness from versus this wood. But it's got these little black crosses. I was thinking about making the Maker's Overshirt with this one originally, but I decided that I really want pants with it. It's very thick, it's very stiff, and I think Arthur pants, I've made Arthur pants before back in the US, I think would look really cool with this. It would like hold its shape and you could really see the balloony shape of the Arthur pants quite well. So that is also another acquisition. So yeah, that's all like my crafty stuff. I'm gonna move on to book reading. So thank you so much for all the book recommendations. I think I'm finally out of my book slump. So I've been reading a good amount. Actually, I ended up reading like 8 books last month, so I ended up catching up to like my usual kind of count, so that's good. Book-wise, it's been going okay. I haven't been finding like gems, but I have been reading good books, if that makes sense. So let me just read them off to you. Let's see, I have 7 books that I read since I last talked to you, but that's quite a lot to talk about. So, maybe I'll choose like 3. Well, first one I read right after I talked to you last, I believe, was A Sorceress Comes to Call by Kingfisher. It is a newer release. I don't know when it came out, but it came out this year. But it's a retelling of The Goose Girl, and it's got a demon horse, evil stepmother. It's got it all. So that was a really fun read. I gave it 4 stars. I love Kingfisher stuff, so that was fun. Another good read was The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana Enriquez. I gave this a 3.75. It is a short story collection, a horror short story collection. There were some that were creepy, there were some that were weird, and there were some that were like meh, so 3.75. But I think the creepiest one for me was probably the one about the baby. And if you read the book, you'll know what I'm talking about. And then maybe one more. Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Farida Abike Iyimide. This is also a new release, and this would probably be good if you're looking for a dark academia, fall, autumn. It's getting colder, kids are going back to school, but weird things are happening. Someone goes missing, someone is murdered, what is going on, that kind of vibe. I do recommend this one. This is a fun time. I gave this 3.75. The main character is a person of color. She's LGBTQ plus, she is Muslim, so there's a lot of like inclusivity, and then there's also a lot of creepiness. So and it's like a rich kid boarding school that is super highly exclusive and well regarded, but also these kids are dying, so what's going on? At the end, the final message that it gave, I really liked. It was just kind of, I felt like the ending was just kind of wrapped up a bit. Like, it was a bit unbelievable towards the end. It is a YA novel. I could see it being like mind-blowing as a teenager, but as a 29-year-old, I was like, well, I don't know. But it was good. It was a fun time, which was what I was going for. And I'm currently reading a good amount of books. I'm reading 4 books right now, but one book I am reading is The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Caw, and it is beautiful, and it is weird, and it is creepy and gory. I didn't know that it was like horror. I thought it was more fantasy, but it's not. So it's about a mermaid and a plague doctor running away because the mermaid's children has eaten everybody in the kingdom. So if that sounds good to you, I highly recommend it. The writing is beautiful. It's very lyrical. Yeah, I love the writing so much, and so far it's been really fun to read. I'm also listening to, as an audiobook, 5 Broken Blades by Mai Corland, and this is also a new release. A lot of people said if you like 6 of Crows, you would like this book, and I could see why. I read Six of Crows like a long time ago, so I can't really like say specific correlations, but it does give that vibe. Oh, the sun came back. Okay, sun came back. Let me show you that the fabric really quick while you're still here. This is the blue one I'm talking about. Okay, it looks so much better. This is the blue one I'm talking about, the Maker's Overshirt. It's the orange one I'm talking about the pants. And I think the other ones looked kind of fine as in the artificial light anyways. But I just wanted to show it to you so you could get the full effect, you know? So, anyways, back to the books. So, Five Broken Blades is kind of like found family. A bunch of these dangerous criminals are coming together to do this one job, this mission, and you follow them. And so far it's really fun. Like, it's just a fun time. The characters are really good. The audiobook is great because each character has their own voice actor, so if you love like full cast type of things, I highly recommend. And also what's pretty cool is that all the voice actors are Asian, so they're like, I think they're all Asian American or Asian British, maybe. I haven't looked into it too much, but all of them are Asian and the author is Asian, so if you love that kind of representation, I highly recommend it. And it's also just a good time all on its own. And then I'm also reading Tokyo Ueno Station by Yu Miri. And this is a very popular Japanese novel. I'm reading it in English because I just don't have the brain space to read it in Japanese right now. It's okay. It's sad. It's a ghost kind of recounting his life as kind of like a workaholic, absent father. I don't want to say workaholic. His family was poor. He needed to provide for his family, so he had to work. And just because he had to work, he missed out on a lot of time with his children and his family. And he's a ghost now, so he's dead. And he's kind of just reminiscing and kind of recounting like his past, and that's kind of it. Like, he doesn't really, obviously he can't change anything, and obviously he's like, I'm gonna do better next time, because he's already kind of dead. So it's just a bit sad, and I don't really, I'm still reading it, so I can't say what will happen in the end and if it'll kind of have a nice clean conclusion. But right now I'm just kind of reading it like, what's the point? It's just like, I'm hearing about all this sad stuff, but I guess the point is that I feel grateful for my situation instead of his. But it's just a lot of talk, not a lot of action. So it's okay. But you may like it. I feel like, I don't know, descriptions of pre-war and post-war Japan, maybe you like it. Lots of descriptions about Tokyo Ueno Station. I think maybe because I live here, I'm just kind of like, well, I don't live I'm in Osaka, near towards Osaka and Kobe, but since I'm in Japan, I don't read the descriptions, and I'm not like, oh wow, I'd love to go there because I'm already here. So it's not, maybe that's why I'm not super into it. I feel like if you really like descriptions of Japan, you might really like this. So anyways, those are the books I'm reading, and yeah, I guess this episode is not as long as I thought it would be, which is fine. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I hope that if fall is coming to you in a prompt manner, because it's almost fall. It's still really hot here, but I hope things have cooled down for you and you can wear sweaters and knit and be cozy. I love that for you. But yeah, please let me know what you've been working on, what you've been reading, as always, because I love I love reading your comments about your reading and your makes. So please let me know, and I will see you next time.